So in this video, we are going to talk about how to add integers using rules. When you are adding integers, you want to look at the sign of the numbers that you are putting together. If the numbers that you are putting together have the same sign, so they are all positive or they are all negative, you're going to add your numbers like normal, and then you'll keep the sign of those numbers. So if you had all positives, your answer is positive. If they are all negatives, then your answer is negative. If they are different signs that you're putting together, so you have some positives and some negatives, then you're going to subtract those numbers. And then you're going to use the sign of what you would normally consider the bigger number. So let's take 8 plus 7, for example. You are used to adding numbers like this. You have a positive 8 and a positive 7. So I add those together, and all together I have 15. Both the 8 and 7 were positive, so my 15 stays positive. Let's take the example negative 11 plus negative 24. When I look at those two numbers, I have the same sign. They're both negative numbers. So I'm going to put them together like normal. 11 plus 24 is 35. And they were both negatives, so my 35 becomes a negative 35 for my final answer. Here's example negative 7 plus 20. When I look at those two numbers, I have one negative number and one positive number. Those are different signs, so I'm going to subtract them like I normally would. I'm going to do 20 minus 7, and I get 13. Now I need to look at or think about those numbers so I can decide if my 13 stays positive or if it needs to become a negative. When I think about 20 and 7, 20 is bigger than 7. And if I look at my original problem here, 20 is a positive, so that means my answer is going to be positive. And then let's do one more example of negative 28 plus 17. Again, I have different signs. I have one negative and one positive. So I want to subtract those two numbers, just like I normally would. 28 minus 17. 28 minus 17 is 11. And so then I think about 28 and 17. I know 28 is bigger than 17, and my 28 in the original problem is negative. So since 28 is bigger and it's negative, my 11 needs to be a negative 11 in my final answer.